I love how neon this filter looks, but I don't like the little small screen thing. Anyways, so I guess I'm gonna share again because I just remembered something. So when I was in high school, I was hanging out with one of my friends. Now, I don't remember if she was like direct about this or if like she hinted at it, but like we ended up like she was at her dad's at the time that she wanted to hang out with me, and like we were supposed to go see a movie. I don't even remember what movie it was. I think it was Pirates of the Caribbean, but I don't think so. I don't know. But um she I think she hinted or like directly said, yeah, my friend, isn't allowed to hang out with me if I'm at my dad's, like my other friend or whatever. And I was just like, okay, because, I had a friend that was just like, oh, yeah, if your brother is older, then I'm not allowed to come to your house. So, I thought it was one of those kind of things. And I had never met her dad or whatever. And I went with, it was a wasp banging up against the window. But yeah, so I was hanging out with her, and I went with her to the the movies or whatever, and like she was driving, and so like she drove us to the movies, and I think this was before she had her like full license. So like she drove us to the movies, and then her dad went and hung out somewhere, and then came and picked us back up afterwards. Now, I don't remember if, like, I think we were just going to, like, hang out, like, go to a restaurant or something, and then, yo, what are you doing? I think we were supposed to, like, hang out, go to a restaurant or something, and that was it. And so, like, I had called my mom just to, like, ask her if I could stay out longer, whatever the case was. And she was just like, sure, as long as you're, like, back by, like, dinner or whatever. And I was just like, okay, whatever. And I don't know if like he had convinced her, like, they had spoken on the phone from my phone. And I don't remember if like, he convinced her to let me stay longer because we were going to the movies, or if like I was saying, hey, um the movie is this long, so it would be easier if I just stay the night with my friend because, her dad lived a little bit further away than, just, easy driving straight back. And on top of that, like when he came to pick us up, he was drunk. And so it was like, I'm telling the story weird because it was like the most awkward, weird thing I had ever experienced, like with another person's parent. And like normally, I had another friend who had, her mom and dad in the same house, and I got no bad vibes from them in spite of my fucking trauma. But this interaction was just too much for me. Now, mind you, everything was normal up until he had come back drunk to pick us up. And then, like, he decided that he was going to play a movie in the little, like, console thing because it had a DVD player. Which, I don't understand the point of that because, it's right next to the fucking driver. Like, but that's not the issue. She actually did her job. She was paying attention to the road. Um, he had popped in this movie. I didn't like know what it was, and I had never seen it before. I had heard of it, but I didn't hear enough about it to know how this movie starts. And so, like, he was just like, go ahead and hit the play button. You can watch the movie while we're driving back to the house because it was a long way away. And so I was trying, because like me, when people give me instructions, I like kind of like have to replay them over and over in my head because sometimes my brain just doesn't understand English, and I have to, especially if I'm like looking for a button, then it just makes me really nervous and I'm like trying to focus and I couldn't figure it out. So then he like grabs my hand and slowly pushes the buttons to try to start this movie. And I don't like being touched, but you know, me being, you know, a teenager, I don't remember if I was 18 at the time, but either way, it doesn't fucking matter. Just because it's legal doesn't mean it's right. But awkward vibes. So like he grabs my hand, slowly pushes all the buttons so that the movie starts, right? And the movie starts on a fucking, like, it was 300. So if you've seen that movie, you know it starts with the freaking, I want to say gross scene, because like me, I was young, I didn't want to sit here and watch adults doing the nasty in a car with my friend's dad. And so like instead of watching the movie, I am like looking out the window and he's like, "Oh, you're missing the, you know, the best part." And I was just like, if this is the best part of the movie, I don't want to fucking watch this shit. And so I just like focus outside of the window because I don't know what man would want to watch that with someone who is his daughter's age. Like, of all the freaking videos and memes about when a freaking scene comes on while parents are in the room and how awkward it gets, I don't understand. Like, that did not make sense to me. It was fucking creepy to me. And so, you know, me being me, don't know how to advocate for myself. I wanted to call my mom and say, yeah, I'm not doing this. Because I was supposed to stay the night at her house, and I was like, fuck. And so I was just like, fuck, like, I don't want to deal with this. So, let me calm down. So then, I'm just like staring out the window. We finally get there. I didn't watch none of that motherfucking movie. I just stared out the fucking window. And like, I was just like, I don't really care for naked people. Like, that's just not my thing. Because at this point, I think I was like, now they call it asexual, but before they had a term for it, I called it antisexual. Because people kept trying to tell me that I needed to get laid, and I didn't like that. So I just said I'm antisexual. So yeah. Then, like, we're at her house, and I, like, at some point, like, we had some time to us, and I was just, like, kind of, like, trying to coax her into, like, seeing, like, is this normal behavior for him? Like, do you not see anything awkward about this? Because, like, it's making me fucking uncomfortable. Now, mind you, this man was married, and his wife was in the house when we got there. And so I was just like, okay, this is awkward. I might have to do a part 2 because like this is making me so freaking nervous. I'm like shaking, and I don't think I'm even telling this in a linear fashion. So yeah, I'm gonna just go part 2 on this.